Hello everybody, Novacore here again, and in this video with music theory I will be talking about chords, chord progressions, that kind of thing. So, in this video I will be going specifically with a minor chord progression, and in the later portion of the video I'll be showing you a major chord progression. So, I will be using F minor, and just like my first video, all you have to do is draw all of the notes of the A minor scale, like so. Whoops. Just move them up, and there you go. These are all the notes for F minor. Except for one. There we go. Wasn't supposed to sound good. So, these are all the notes I'll be using for my chords. So with chord progressions, you almost always want to start with your root chord being the first chord that you write. So I will be showing you the most common dubstep chord progression that has been used ever since Terror Squad and All Is Fair has been out, and people still use it today. And that is the simple obviously your F minor, then you go to your E flat, move this up, E flat major chord, like this. And if you want to go must die in this, we can add a C minor. It's a wrong note. F and A flat. So that is the culture chord progression. And if you didn't want like a must die thing, all it is this, the typical dubstep F, E flat, F chord progression. So this chord progression is just simply taking the tonic chord and then going down to the E flat chord. Now, you can make it a bit more interesting than this by adding more chords into this. So rather than just going the typical F, E flat, F kind of thing, we can say go down to C, just like we did with the culture chord progression. We can add a C. And maybe a B flat as well. So it sounds a lot more like melancholy, like horror kind of stuff with this kind of chord progression. But as you can see, I took the typical dubstep chord progression, and just by adding two more chords down, I changed it up a little bit. Very simple. And another thing you can do, maybe right before returning to the tonic chord, is adding and as you can see, that was a perfect chord, the D flat, for returning to our F chord. Now this is something that you can do. Make 4 bars of chords like so, and repeat them. And this can be essentially your chord progression for your entire song. And if you want to do it like that, you can. So these chords right here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chords, will be kind of like your backbone of your song. Or what you can also do, just like what Must Die did in Culture, is add more chords in the next 4 bars, these bars here. So rather than returning to the F minor chord and making just a 4-bar chord progression, we can make an 8-bar chord progression by starting it back with the C, because this is what is known as a cadence, going from 1 to 5, 5 to 1. So starting on a 5 and a 1 at the beginning of each 4 bars is smart, because the listener will recognize that chord as being a starting point, rather than starting on, say, an E flat when you're in F minor, because the listener won't recognize any other chord pretty much other than the 1st, the 5th, and in some cases the 4th, as being your first kind of starting point, like an introduction to a new phrase. So we can play this. So as you can see, it's like, oh, an introduction to a new phrase. Pretty simple. But one thing you may want to keep in mind is keeping the same rhythm that we kept in the first 4 bars the same. So we could say add back in the B flat, sorry. Then we can go back to the D, and then E flat once again, D flat once again, and we'll see how this sounds. I'll just let Ableton start here. Or one thing you may also do, like this sounded good, we could reintroduce the tonic chord once again. Just delete this, copy this, paste this, and then we got So as you can see, we just made a pretty simple chord progression just by going down a couple of notes from F to D to E flat, or D sharp if you want to call it that, then to C to B flat. So these chords are good to remember, and just like in the first video, if you want to change the key, all you have to do, move these chords up and down. Let's say you wanted, let's say, A flat minor. So as you can see, completely different sound, completely different feel, but same chord progression. And you can do this simply by moving the notes up and down. And this also works with melodies. Now keep in mind, this is our minor chord progression. So these are the chords that you'll be using most of the time, since I think about 80% of dance music is written in minor. However, for the sake of completion, I will now show you a major chord progression, which you can easily do by mimicking guitar. So just like our video before, again, you can write out all of your notes in the scale. And these are the notes we will be using for our major chord progression. But I will be writing these chords in G major for sake of simplicity, because I don't usually write in major. So a very, very common chord progression You guitar players will know this one very, very, very well. Goes G major, C major, D major, E minor. That's the typical G major chord progression. So these chords do sound good together. They have to, because this chord progression has been used a lot within different kinds of music because it's simple to play on the guitar. However, we can change these, say E major. So I like the way that sounds. And like with the minor chord progressions, we can change this up a little bit. So let's say we want to decrease this chord, increase this one to kind of make it connect a bit. And this is on our C sharp. Or you can do something like this. Simple. And if you wanted to add different kinds of chords to the major, other than using that simple chord progression, we can do kind of like what we did in minor, avoiding the seventh. Let's move this up. You're still at E. D, F, perfect. And I want to add another note on this one. We will be adding a seventh. So as you can see, I showed you guys a couple of simple chord progressions that you can use in your music. And just like with any chord progression, you can change the key to whatever you want to make it sound different, make it have a different feel. And the last thing I'm going to show you is adding extra notes, just like I did on this chord with adding a seventh. So for the sake of simplicity, I will be going back to minor. I'll return to F minor. This will just be a short, quick point. So adding notes like a seventh or a ninth can add something different to your music. It can make it feel a bit more jazzy, like give it an R&B kind of feel. So let's just hear this F added seventh chord, minor seventh. So as you can hear, it sounds a bit kind of like jazzy. And another thing you can do is add it below the root note. Give it that kind of like whirl effect, and the Rhodes really works well for this kind of chord. You can just add these extra notes in wherever you want on your root chord throughout your chord progression, just to give it a bit more of a different feel. It's used in melodic dubstep a lot when people make their drops. Haywire specifically likes the diminished chords, which I won't discuss because those are a bit more complicated and the chord progressions are harder to write. But these are just simple methods of creating chord progressions. Just simply staying close to your root chord when you're in minor, and you can kind of mess with the G major chord progression, switch the keys up, and just kind of rearrange the chords to give it that different feel. And it'll still work because those chords sound good. So this is a simple explanation, writing chord progressions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it, favorite, subscribe if you learned something. The next video I will be talking about melody writing in correspondence to these chords. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.